And get a
Hey,
little.
Lou, can you come here?
Oh, can we mute yourself there, Gerald? There it is. Got it. Awesome. Okay, everybody have a stand. Why don't you relax your shoulders a little? Good. We're going to talk a little bit today about the parts of our body that we tense when we sing, and the ones that we are supposed to, and the ones that we're not supposed to, right? So first, let's roll your shoulders a little. This is where humans like to put a lot of tension when we sing. You want to relax your neck, bring it your right ear to your right shoulder, then your left ear to your left shoulder. Don't push anything, just let it fall. Let your head fall forward, relaxing the muscles right behind your skull. All right. Let's take a good full breath in. Now, think about what muscles did you tense up when you were breathing, right? Were you tensing these muscles in here, or were you releasing these muscles in here? Did you tense your arms unnecessarily when you did it, or can we leave our arms pretty relaxed and pull our sound in? Pull your sound together and excellent. Your hands are up and down. Start them at your belly button and not above. And hands front and back. So think about the muscles we use when we're breathing like this. Oftentimes singers breathe like they're about to like hammer a nail in, and you go, and you're about to do something physical. But that's not how singing goes. In singing, you want to have your body loose and relaxed and easy. Your hips can be mobile, your knees can be mobile, right? So why don't you move your knees a little bit and take another one of these breaths in and see what it feels like. You may have noticed less tension in other parts of your body while you moved your knees, that everything else relaxed a little bit. I heard a voice teacher once say, will everyone just wiggle their big toe? Good. Big breath in. And it seems silly, but by moving just your big toe in that space, your body is in a state of constant movement, which allows you to stay looser while we sing. We all want to be working really hard when we're singing, and therefore we make our muscles tense as we go. Now, we remain standing. Oh, let's take. Sorry, we didn't take one of these big breaths in, and then. Just keeping that voice going. Okay, now before we do other vocal exercises, I'm going to share another screen with you. This little friend we worked with last week. A little bit of solfege. We'll start in B major. Let's just sing the scale together. Remember, the low note is at the bottom. If you're following it with your eyes or even with your finger, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Top to bottom. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Same thing. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And then if you weren't here last week, we learned a little exercise that goes like this. You start at the bottom and you sing do, do, re, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Excellent. And then thinking from the top to the bottom, we start with do, do, ti, do, la, ti, do, la, sol, la, ti, do, la, sol, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So, doing this early in the vocal warm-ups is because solfege is not just a thing you do because it's there. You do it because we use it as functional. And the function is finding do. And once you find do, you can then find so. Then you can find mi. And you can find everything from do. That's why we work with it. So, the other kinds of vocal exercises that we do all the time, like my. Try one. My. That is just sol, fa, mi, re, do. You'll notice that most of our vocal exercises end on do, because we always want to end up home. So we have sol, fa, mi, re, do. Let's sing that. And sol, fa, mi, re, do. 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 And so we keep doing that over and over, and it feels like it's just rote, like it's just noises we're making. But if we want to find do, we have do. And if we want to find so, we have so. So we can use it functionally. You hear any key, and we want to find do, and we have do. If you want to find so, you can think my, or so, fa, mi, re, do, which helps you find do and so. Make sense? So, let's go back to my. Relax your jaw, let it be tall and easy. The reason I choose this exercise so often is it's a lot like saying an English word and changing an English word into something sung. Because if you say the word spelled my, my, we all sing e, my, but we want to sing my, which is very different, but the M keeps us there. So that's why I use my so often. Good breath. My. My, my, how's your body feel? What parts of your body change as the sound goes up? Do you find yourself using your larynx more? Do you find yourself tensing your shoulders more? These are normal things we do as humans because we love control. And yet, maybe if you're moving your knees a little bit while you're singing, you're less likely to have that feeling. Your knees just move and we start here and you sing, my. You might find that you're working less, that your body is just doing the stuff that we want it to do. Excellent. Now, another favorite thing we do a lot is Do you notice that this vocal exercise is also built around do and so and do? Do, mi, so, mi, do. Try it on those syllables. Do, mi, so, mi, do. 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 we find do. When I was teaching elementary music, you'd end no matter what song it was, if you were singing Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb, Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow, then you'd sing bum ba da bum 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 bum. That's how you teach kids do and sol. 5 and 1. Bum ba da bum 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 bum. And I love it. It's similar to the songs over the symphony. It's do so do so do so do so do so do so do. Right, it's how we find the end of pieces. Here's a weirder one. Hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee. Hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee. Hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee. Hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee. Hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee. Hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee. Hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee. Hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee. Hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee. Hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee ho, hee. Another warm we've done a lot of times. We've introduced a bunch more pitches, and yet we have E, so, do, back in the easier range. So, E, ho, E, ho, E, ho, E, ho, E. Everybody? E, ho, E, ho, E, ho, E, ho, E. So if I share my screen again, we have a lot of things starting on sol and ending on do. This one starts on sol again. And we have sol, mi, fa, re, mi, ro, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. Can I write on this while I'm sharing my screen? I can. Fun. Right? So there's the ti below do. Sol, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. Based on tendency tones. Let's try it slowly. It starts on sol. Sol, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. Again. Sol, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. Let's break it up a little bit. Sol, mi, just that. Sol, mi, rain, rain, go away, come again another day, right? Most children's songs are based off sol, mi, sol, mi. So it starts with that. Sol, mi, another one. Fa, re, then mi, do, re, ti, do. So you could think of it as sol, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. It's a whole full-scale composition in one little vocal exercise. Lots of tonality in there. But more in tempo. Sol, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. Sol, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. One more. Sol, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. Meant to do it this week, but I'm going to print this out next week, and I'm going to move up and down the scale, and we'll move together if I can do that in a way that makes some sort of sense on Zoom. But another way to play with solfege, think of it, I love to think of it as a language, but a language that you learn as a game. And so if you're walking around, you have sol and you have do all the time. Let's pick a lower one. You have sol and you have do, and you have do, re, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. Just playing around with that in the middle of the day while you're doing dishes, while you're I would say driving a car, but people aren't driving quite as often. While you're just doing stuff, while you're working in the garden, while you're taking a walk, spending time with solfege is a way to get it in your head and let it be more useful for you. Cool. Let's talk a little bit more about the parts of our body that get in the way or that help us when we sing. So 2 fingers on each hand, and you'll find your jaw right here. This is one place where we as singers like to control. The goal as singers is get out of our own way all the time, right? The more we get out of our own way, the better. So if we find this, I find myself looking down at the monitor, compressing my windpipe. Not good. Agreed, not good. One way is mine right now is on a music stand, so I can bring it up and down. That's a cool idea, having a music stand in your house. If you have one, that's a great place to put it. Or a big old stack of books. Ways to get it a little more towards your own height would be a fantastic idea. Thank you for bringing that up, Leanne. So our jaw is here, and you said compressing your windpipe. So what does that mean, right? So let's move our larynx too. Our larynx is right here, okay? Make an O shape with your mouth and take a breath in. And feel all the space you just created, right? You just created a ton of pharyngeal space, right? Sorry, I have a really cute dog right here. He's just hanging out. He wants to have dinner. Sorry, I'll feed him later. So that O space creates all that pharyngeal space, which is good for us as singers. And yet, when we have a lot of pharyngeal space, it feels out of control. Will you keep all that pharyngeal space for a second? All that, like as if you could like take a ping pong ball and just swallow it whole. Like that's kind of the space we have right now. And we're gonna sing here. We're just gonna sing. Oh. You might find that the note you sing is super out of tune and way out there. I don't care. Put a big H in front of it and try it. Oh. 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 Keep all that space. Oh. One more. Oh. Does that feel weird? Does it feel like you can't quite hold on to it? And the answer might be yes. And that's totally okay. As humans, we want to be right. So often we are taught to be right all the time. And that can get in the way when we're trying to just make great noise. And so letting that space be open and easy and out of control, this is the perfect time, because who cares if you're out of tune? I can't even hear if you're out of tune. Only you can, right? What a fun game we're playing. So loose and open and easy. Here's another really weird exercise we've done before, I think, as a whole choir, but it's still strange. So everything's relaxed. You open up all that pharyngeal space, and we'll take a breath in. And then we're going to hold it. So after the breath's in, we're going to hold it. But you're going to be holding it with your intercostal muscles and your abs, right? You're not going to close your throat to hold your breath in. We're not putting a stopper over it, right? We're going to open up, take a breath in, and then hold it with our intercostal muscles and our abs. Just that button, and we'll let it out. So open up, breath in. Feel your blood start to pump. Feel that oxygen coming in. Feel your body working. Let's try it again. Excellent. What your body wants to do, of course, is as soon as the breath comes in, it wants to close it and keep it. But we're trying to use other muscles to keep it in. We're not just going to use the larynx. So again, take the breath in. Everything's still really open, and yet the air isn't coming out because we're holding it here and then air out. Excellent. Now, while you're singing, you want that feeling kind of all the time. Now, as humans, we want to stopper the air and then hold on to it and let out just enough. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to take that air in and we're going to sing. So this is going to go like this. We're going to start in this key. It's the same exercise we just did before. We take that big breath in. We're going to hold it for about a second and a half. And then we're going to sing. Oh, just that much. Big breath in. And and when I cut you off, what did your body do? There's the question. Did you get a little shorter, right? Did you close everything off? Did your larynx come up? Did the soft palate come down? Did we close everything? And the answer is probably yes, that our body loves to go back to home base because home base just feels normal. But instead, if after we're done with that, oh, You just leave the whole thing open, but don't breathe in yet, right? That's the next step, right? Same team. We open everything up. We breathe in. Or stay open. Everything's still there. Now breathe in. Air out. You'll notice that you're using a lot of musculature, that a lot of your body is involved in doing this technique. And yet, the part of your body not involved is your throat and your jaw. That part is hopefully open and out of the way, but we're really using our lungs, our ribs, our intercostal muscles, and our abs. We're really digging into those. Let's try that again. Everything opens up. Breath in. Hold it open. Breath in. Leave it open. Breath in. So how do you feel, right? How's your body feel? When people are like, wow, singing is hard work, I'm like, yes, it just depends where you're putting the work. That it really should be hard body work. But as adults, kids underwork when they sing. Kids don't work hard enough when they sing. Adults overwork when we sing. But here's where we overwork, in this area. We put all our work right here. We budget our air, we grab, we put something on our shoulders too, right? We put all these tensions in so we can have the notes, we can control them. But what we want is this part to be generally pretty loose, right? You want think about your tongue being flat and whatever, but generally it's just kind of loose and relaxed, and you do serious work with your body. The body is doing serious work. Let's try a few more of those. Let's back here. Everything's relaxed. Everything's open. Big breath in. Everything stays open. Again. Everything stays open. Breath in. One more. Neat. Now, here's the next thing we try. We sing a song. We try to do all that. We're going to pick Spirit of Life, which is a familiar song, and your body has familiar things it wants to do with Spirit of Life. I don't care if you sing parts or you sing the melody, doesn't matter to me, but go for it, singing it, and your job is just to be open. The song runs about 100 seconds. This song, beginning to end, is about 100 seconds long. Can you stay open the whole time? If you ever hear yourself go, it means you're not open, right? You might be able to hear that in your own voice. If you feel like you run out of breath, you're gonna. You might run out of breath way more than you're used to. And that's okay. You can have more. It's free. Have all the breath you want. Okay? Starting here. Everything's open. Big breath. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Giving life the shape of justice. You told me close, you set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Interesting. Have a seat. We're gonna answer questions now, so we can unmute ourselves. I'll go back to a grid view. Can I do that? Can I cancel spotlight video? Nice. So the question I have for you, and anyone can answer, just maybe if you raise hands, I can call on people. That'd be easier. What did that feel like? No wrong answer to that question. Anybody, go for it.
Just using a lot of energy, I guess.
It was
Just-
awkward. I couldn't really do it.
It was hard. Yeah.
You feel
Muscle, like you said, use the muscle. There's a lot of,
musculature involved.
Yeah.
What else?
The trick is keeping your throat open when you're singing, flat vowels like E and glottal sounds. G.
Yeah, it can be way trickier to keep it open on certain vowels, including E. Quick version of why that is everyone say E. E. Notice how much space is in your mouth when you say E. E. And the answer is almost none, right? It is almost zero. It's essentially your tongue comes up, flattens out, and your mouth is there. So when we open our mouth really big with two hands like this, and then we say E, we want to close our mouth and bring our tongue up and make almost no space. We all want to do that. That's how we've said E our entire lives. And yet, as a singer, we have to find this E thing that has almost nothing to do with the way we say E. Almost nothing. It sounds similar, but actually physically, it's very different than what we do. Yeah. And so, I like the idea of singing Spirit of Life, come unto me. Way too much space, just to kind of see what it's like. Another thing to play with. What else did anybody feel? Any other thoughts, feelings? What was it like?
That E sounds like you're trying to be a ventriloquist. Like
Sure.
like
Did any folks run out of air way more? Yeah.
yeah.
Why?
A lot more air coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it felt much more vowely to me. Like I had a harder time fitting the consonants in. The vowels felt much bigger.
Yeah, totally. It's a different game. I like to think about it if you're pouring out of a something with a small spout, right? Only so much can come out. But if you take the spout off and pour out of the bottle itself, it's going to pour way faster. And that's the physics of what you just did. You're pulling more air in. There's less resistance when you're pulling air in, but there's also nothing to resist as you're pouring air out. So more air comes out of your body, just as more air comes into your body. And you want that. You want to use way more air. You can have as much as you want. It's free.
It's just that you need different kind of control for that amount of than the tight little mouth.
It's as if I asked Kay to say different kind of control, right? Because that's what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about losing control. We're talking about just controlling with different parts of your body. We want to be in control. We want to sing in tune, right? Like these are skills we want to build as singers, of singing in tune, of doing things we want. But we tend to use the same things to control that we use to control our speech. And it is so different. You're using different muscles to control the air, not these muscles. These muscles need to get out of the way. But if we run out of air, they hop right in because they're very helpful muscles. They're just good muscles. They're good friends. They want you to sing beautifully. And so they just hop up and help you manage air and help you control things because they know that you want to feel like you can control everything. And what should we control in singing? I mean, some things, but mostly getting out of our ways is really important. We want to control the pitch. We want to control the vowel, but we don't need to control the airflow with this. We control that with our whole bodies. So in the next couple weeks before we come back together and sing, I'd like you to try a lot of singing that feels really out of control. I like to say Novocaine, right? Now you put a little Novocaine here, a little Novocaine here, and everything is loose and open. My voice teacher used to say, like, you could push your jaw around without moving it. Now that's impossible. You can't actually do that, but I love the idea. That's how loose it is. And you just pull air in. And if you can only sing 3 notes before you run out of air, great. Take another breath. You can just have more, right? Don't feel free to keep running out of breath because we over budget air as singers all the time. We take a big breath and then we try to use it for 2 weeks, but you want to use it for just a phrase, right? A couple of measures, and you're done. And you're done. It was really popular between the late 80s to the early 2000s to excuse me, teach choral singers to hold long phrases. That was the idea. If you're a choral singer, you should be able to hold a 4-bar phrase. That's what we were pounded into our heads. You may have experienced that from a choir director somewhere. And that is bad pedagogy. It's a good idea, but as a choir, how long can we hold a phrase?
Forever.
Oh, right.
Forever. As a choir, we can hold a phrase forever. That's the thing about being a group of singers. If you, it is really impressive when an opera singer sings a 6-bar phrase. It's super impressive. Good on them. For a choir, I literally don't care. It does not impress me. It's not a thing that I go, wow, good job, because all they're doing is squeezing here, only letting so much air out, and not creating that beautiful, relaxed, released sound that we want to create. Don gets to watch us making these faces every rehearsal. Geez, yes, I do. And I love it. Right? So let that be the thing the 2 things that we get to play with in the next couple of weeks are solfege, just playing around up and down, going through solfege, and try singing just way too open, way too much air in, way too much air out. Do not try to make it pretty. Right? Your goal is not to sing beautifully that way. It is just functional. Functional air in, air out. If someone in your house, they should not say, that sounds great. They should say, what are you doing? That's what you're after, okay? No one should be like, wow, beautiful stuff. Because I want you to be a little bit out of control, right? We'll talk about how to control it next week, right? But right now, control is the last thing you want to work on. Just let fly. That's what they're saying right now. Good. Noise making is just wonderful. Excellent, friends. Well, shall we just hang out for a bit? You can unmute yourselves.